Hey guys, welcome back to Axial GT. Today I'm giving my opinion and analysis on Valorant and its Vanguard anti-cheat system that it has in place. Now I've seen many videos making their way across YouTube about the same topic. Some were good, others not so much, and I've watched most of them. I've watched videos from upper echelon gamers, and even the Quartering threw his hat in the ring. Both were excellent videos, I might add. They gave an excellent overview of the situation at hand. But I wanted to add a little to this discussion and dive a little deeper on this topic, so we as gamers can make up our own minds on what and who we can trust. Now I'm not talking about the trust of YouTube creators, I'm talking about our gaming companies.
You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
And let's see where this takes us. But before we dive in and lay it all out, please like and subscribe and hit the bell for future Axial GT content. With that, let's take our red pill and see what happens.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Now I have contacted other sources like Malwarebytes, Norton, and some other friends that shall remain anonymous for reasons that should remain clear, just to do some fact checking on my own knowledge and experience. And according to them, this analysis is sound. So Valorant is the upcoming free-to-play multiplayer first-person shooter that has taken the internet by storm. A small part because people are stuck at home, and because of the brilliant marketing campaign by Riot Games, developer of the game. It is a tactical shooter that has been heavily compared to Valve's CSGO and Blizzard's Overwatch, and it's very evident as to why. If those two games ever hooked up and had a baby, Valorant would be its name. And as for how the game is marketed, it's brilliant and annoying at the same time. Brilliant for causing such a gaming frenzy. It's like watching some gamers turn into piranha going after their latest meal. And it's annoying having to watch some Twitch streamers for the hopes of getting into the closed beta. Now, upper echelon gamers said that some streamers are not that fun to watch.
Got really sick of having to watch particular streams I don't necessarily enjoy.
I'll take that statement a step further. Watching some Twitch streamers is somewhere in between having your face melt and watching grass grow, but that's in the eye of the beholder. And it is subjective. That's just my personal thoughts. But back to the video. Where the issue lies in Valorant's anti-cheat system that it has in place, namely it's the vgk.sys file that is loaded at startup. As far as I know, the first signs of an issue first appeared on Reddit. Now I will tell you, I've sat through many hours of eye-bleeding pain on Twitch to get into the beta, to test this for myself, and I finally got in. But since Riot Games themselves admit a lot of this, it'll make this deep dive a lot easier. Some will say, so it has an anti-cheat system. So what? The what in that question is not the issue. The issue is on how it works. Think of a bullseye. Each level is a layer you go through until you reach the center. Valorant uses a two-part anti-cheat system. One part only runs when you play the game, the second runs at the startup of your machine. It's always running there in the background, and is supposedly only activated once Valorant is launched. At least that's what Riot Games says about it. And in my opinion, that is not factual, but I'll get to why I think that in a moment. First, so everyone understands how this second part works, and back to the bullseye example I used earlier, these are the rings as they're actually called. They're the layers of protection. The outer ring, or ring 3, is usually where your applications reside. It is also known as the user level. Rings 1 and 2 are reserved for device drivers, like drivers for your graphics card and USB ports, things of that nature. Now that's just a vague example. Ring 0 is the center of it all. It's the kernel. It's the God particle at the center of this nucleus. It decides who can do what and when. Now why do you have separate rings for everything? Well, it provides safety from all kinds of programs and misbehavior, from your software you have installed to viruses and malware. You may have seen this in action without even realizing it. While it's not the best example, have you ever seen a program stop responding? That usually happens on ring 3. The user level. The kernel is still safe and running. That's why you can still close the program without it bringing the entire system down. Now if you have a flaw in the driver or kernel level, that's when you get the blue screen of death. Valorant's anti-cheat system is technically a rootkit, not actually malware. Rootkits are specially designed to provide access to a computer while masking its presence. This one, vgk.sys, is a system file that resides in the kernel, or ring 0. User level rootkits hide themselves by using certain processes to trick the OS or antivirus software into thinking it's something else, or mundane. But they can be detected with special rootkit software. But kernel level rootkits are their own kind of monster. They are more stealthy and harder to remove. And I'm talking about the nefarious rootkit. They add code to the operating system's kernel, which is ring 0. They can even bypass encryption and have unrestricted access to your system, and could be running on your system right now. Antivirus software is not enough. You actually need special rootkit removing software. Most of the major players of antivirus programs have a rootkit removal tool, but they can't always remove them, requiring a total operating system reinstall. Now you think it might be too hard to crack Valorant's Vanguard anti-cheat system. Well, that's what Capcom thought with Street Fighter V. in 2016. Its capcom.sys kernel level file was exposed to being a full-blown backdoor into a user's system. Hackers could try and enter the system, make a call out to the kernel level Capcom SYS file, and have unrestricted access to the entire system, using Capcom's own anti-cheat system against them. If it hadn't come to light, hackers could have installed keyloggers, malware, viruses to their heart's content, and no one would have been the wiser. Needless to say, Capcom had to remove their kernel level file. But if and when Valorant is cracked, somewhere along these lines is how it may happen. Now it is of note that even if you uninstall Valorant, and I have tested this myself, it still leaves the Vanguard anti-cheat on your system, which I find very strange. There is no need for it. The Vanguard anti-cheat requires a separate uninstall process that Riot Games forgot to mention on their website. Now, they did state it in a few articles when this issue was brought up, but most people don't read that. It should be an automatic process. You uninstall Valorant, the Vanguard anti-cheat goes with it. Now, what are my personal thoughts on Valorant's anti-cheat? Well, that's hard to answer, but I'll give it my best shot. As for now, I think it's probably pretty safe to play Valorant, as long as players have a heads up and know what they're getting into. But it is also very risky. It won't be long before black hat hackers find a security hole in the anti-cheat software. Will it be difficult? Sure it will. But the more difficult it is to crack, the more of a badge of honor hackers have to wear after its flaws are found. Now Riot Games have tried to get ahead of this by offering a $100,000 bounty for hackers to find exploits for them. Now in my opinion, this is a PR move to quell players' issues with the anti-cheat system, but that's my opinion. But anyway, $100,000 wouldn't be enough. You have to understand the mentality of a lot of hackers. Some do it for the money, some do it for the challenge. Plus, the ones that do it for the money can make more than $100,000 by other nefarious ways using the exploits they find. Now I will state a worrisome fact. There is no 100% safe software. None. Now what is more concerning to me is that Riot Games is 100% owned by Tencent, the largest gaming conglomerate in the world, and Tencent has become the right hand and enforcer of the Chinese government. Now I could make an hour-long video of all the indiscretions that involve Tencent, but for the purposes of this video, I'll cut it down to say Tencent is a leading tech giant in China to help them create a surveillance state, and their technology is used to track down any dissent among the population, and censor anything or anyone who disagrees with the Chinese policies or politics. Now that to me is not very comforting. So again, it boils down to trust. Now I don't think they would do anything purposefully to screw over their player base, but whether it be on purpose or accident, the risk is there. Do you trust Riot Games? Do you trust them not to fail? Or their parent company, Tencent? Tell me in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. I made this video to give gamers a heads up so they know what they're getting into. But I hope you found the video informative. Please be sure to like and subscribe for future Axial GT content. Your support is much appreciated. Until next time, I'm out of here. You all stay safe and have a good one.